Welcome to listening to Paint Try, the live stream about the art and hobby of miniature painting. I'm Mike.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Dev, and thank you for joining us on our continued hobby journey to become better, braver, happier painters. Well, it's been a couple of weeks, but we're back, and it's pretty good to be back.
How did your live stream go last time around?
My little solitaire live stream sync. I worked on a little dude who is definitely not going to focus. I can put him on the main cam in a minute. And then just last night I was working on a little bit of freehand that is also not going to focus out. But I'll show that a little bit later.
Painted a mustache on the shield.
It's Arabic script for right.
Oh.
So it will show clearer in the top down. But I
don't know. I kind of like the idea of the mustache.
I mean, the man does have a very, very fine beard, it has to be said. So maybe in his younger days he was rocking a mustache and painting his shield.
Maybe.
All right. You guys splurge on anything for Black Friday? We're off script now, buddy. I mean, you can try, but it's gone.
Dan doesn't even have it open.
I know.
He's got his chocolate. He's got his chocolate high right now.
Black Friday.
I took advantage of one. Did you guys take advantage? I took advantage of one Black Friday deal.
I did. Dev, what about you? Did you splurge on anything?
I did some Black Friday deals, but nothing hobby related. Actually, I was trying to be pretty good this time around. I've actually been doing the exact opposite. I've been going through all of my stuff and just creating piles of stuff to sell off probably at KublaCon this year. So any of y'all that are listening, if you're in the Bay Area and wanting to get a stupid amount of stuff at a very, very good price, I'll be probably getting rid of quite a lot of my backlog and stuff at KublaCon. But what did you guys splash in? What did you guys?
Go ahead.
I'll show you.
He's gonna show pictures of it.
Yep, I went to I love me some My Mini Factory Black Friday, and so the first thing I got was one of these federal agents from Vanquish the Darkness. It looks really good. I printed him. He came out really nice. Then I got this handsome human bard from Pre-Run Miniatures, or Per-Run Miniatures. And then I did some great grimoire shopping because that's one of my. I really dig their aesthetic. I got a bust of Hansel, the Forest Guide, and a bust of Emily, who apparently is the Gummy Bear Keeper, and I've got lots of ideas for that one. I also got the bust of Count Richter von Schloss, which I've been calling just Old Vampire Dude, and this one is really cool. I have not seen anything like this, and it's from Crypta Studios. It's Melissa, Adventure Kid. It's a bust. She's a skater, and I have a bunch of. I've printed out a bunch, or not printed out. Did a lot of like research on like skater T-shirts and decks, and it brings me back to the good old days of growing up in a beach town. I also got from the same place, Crypta Studios, this Corvois Baltar hero bust from the Carnival of Shatter. It's really cool. It kind of one of my favorite things in kind of like lore, and I guess I don't know if you call it lore or not, but are plague doctors. And this kind of has a combination of armored like fighting plague doctor, and the last one I got was this boxer girl bust from Clay Demon Miniatures. I kind of, if you see a theme, it definitely is that I've been working on. I want to really get into bust painting. It's something that I have not. I have finished one bust, and I need to. And I have about 20 that are started, and at various stages. I've even taken a couple of bust painting classes. But I need to get on it, and when we show our work in progress, I'll show the Old Vampire Dude that I've been able to spend about 5-6 hours on. And I got to admit, I'm really loving the feel of like the academic bust feel, where it really is just kind of head and shoulders it's very educational. You know what I mean? I'm learning a lot doing this. But that's all I really did for Black Friday on a hobby level. And I mean, I got all those for like $12 because of the Black Friday sales.
You spent way less than I did.
All right, Dan. Fess up. What's the damage?
Oh, it's a lot. So let's see. I re-upped my Patreon and then noticed that there were a lot of really cool 3D folks out there. So I went ahead and, even though I don't print right now, I got a crap ton of freaking STLs. So Mike, I will be sending some of those over to you. I cannot for the life of me remember what I have. I probably should look at it. I think it's like 3D Guy, because he had like one or two like really cool pieces. What did he have? He had the storms from Big Trouble in China and from some 1970s I guess I don't know, kung fu movies. So I was like, holy crap, I have to get that definitely. And then oh man, it was another one that I got. I just re-upped a bunch of them also, and I gotta find a way to print them now because I got a shit ton of stuff. And then I started looking at 3D printers because they were going to have some decent sales, and I said, I'm going to be a good boy this year and not buy a 3D printer. But boy, let me go out and drop a couple grand on a brand new computer.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got Alienware because I've always wanted one, and I got an R16, and I don't know what kind of jet engine, liquid cooled stuff is in it, but it's going to be a lot faster than a laptop that I'm standing on right now. So we'll see what happens, and yes, it's a lot of damage. But yeah, so I'll be playing lots of games that I couldn't before because my laptop is pre-COVID and it would break down when I would try to play anything. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to try to. That's a good sale. It was a very good sale. I got a great freaking deal on it, I think.
Have you got it yet?
What's that?
Has it arrived yet?
No, it was supposed to be here tonight, but it got stuck in freaking Maryland because I guess the snow scared the FedEx guy away. So it's stuck in Maryland right now. So I'll probably get it tomorrow, which is going to be a super busy day because I have a.
So we won't see Dan again now for what, 6-7 months easily. Once it arrives,
will.
I reckon so. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably won't see me. That's right. I'll be playing video games. I'll be streaming my my crappy video game playing skills because I play video games as well as I paint. But I was able to supplement the things that I got by receiving a wonderful care package from our friends at Death Ray Designs. And Mike and I will talk about this later on, probably in another show as we start moving forward on things. So we received the Steel Rift box set, which if I had it, you couldn't see it anyway because for some reason it just doesn't like my camera. Dev always gives me shit for that. And then so we got the box set, and I got a Cerebus Gunslinger team, which is one of the new ones, and I'm going to try to slaughter this name. It's the Akamatsu Assassination Team. So Mike and I have already decided which one. So Mike will be getting the Assassination Team. I will be getting the Cerebus Gunslinger Team, and then we're going to split the main box itself. We're going to paint those up. We'll showcase them a little bit, try to play some games when we can. But hats off to Austin, Justin, and them over at Death Ray Designs for blessing us with this wonderful gift, and we will hope to give that a try because they know that I like little robots, and I'm gonna try to get Mike into little robots too. They're a lot of fun. Actually, Mike paints his a hell of a lot better than I paint mine. So,
wait, you paint yours, Dan?
Well, we can get into progress.
We will. You know what? Here's an idea too. Hey, Dev, when I come out to KublaCon, what I can do is, if Dan allows me, I can bring the box set out and we can run a game out in Kubla Khan together. Yeah, we can play in Kubla Khan.
That'd be cool.
That sounds great. Kubla Khan has some great evening like gaming sessions among the folks, so we can crack it out then and maybe get some spectators and show it off a little bit as well.
No, that's cool. Let's talk about that a little bit more. I have some local gamers that play it, so I can always play with them also. Mike, you can take the setup, and then you guys can play out there and give us a report on that. I have done the demo before. We see them at most of the big cons. You guys are going to see the Adepticon, Nova. So they do the demos there. And I think they have some open gaming also there for it. But they're really cool models. And how I was looking at this is there was a conversation about how the other big stompy robot game has slowly taken away the fun part that I enjoyed. Now you can do it when you're playing it as friends at a house, is making mechs, because that was like the big RPG element of BattleTech back in the day. And now to streamline it, and definitely because of Alpha Strike, you can make your own mechs, but it's just so much easier to have the pre-made ones. So we're talking about like how you're able, the fun of that back from the 80s and 90s of creating your own mechs that have that personality. And that's where part of the strengths are of this game is you're able to do that. You can make the type of stompy robots that you want without being left to use the standard ones. And I think it's kind of fun because you can mix and match things and make things more interesting and give it that personality. So I'm looking forward to this. I've started to assemble some of the pieces. I think I might have put some online. I've tried Rust-Oleum many times in my life, and I still hate it. Even when it's ultra matte and it comes out shiny as glass, I just hate that shit. But it was 70 degrees and I didn't feel like bringing out any of my airbrushes. So I gave it a try. It kind of sucked. Even though I had a rattle can of Monument spray paint, I still didn't use it, and I kick myself every morning for that. So I just got to figure out what kind of color scheme I'm going to go with that. And that can probably go a little bit to my hobby progress. But yeah, that's kind of it. Actually, I'm doing a lot of hobby stuff right now, which is odd and strange because I don't have the time for it.
Nice.
Have no hobby Black Friday sales for you?
No. So I was fairly restrained, except for the purchase of a new laptop for my wife, which was the big purchase. That was a few hundred bucks. And then I did get a set of Nest audio speakers for the house. So I picked up 4 of those because they were literally half price.
That's pretty cool.
So like for $200, I got 4 really decent quality speakers, which is like the cost of one Sonos speaker. So I was just like, all right, you know what? I don't know how connected up this house is going to be, but this gives me a few options anyways. So those were the big things. Got some like year-long subscription things online, but no miniatures at all. I really have been trying to restrain myself on that front. I've got plans for like cracking through my Relic Blade back catalog this year and getting caught up on Warhammer Underworlds. And if I manage those 2 things by the end of the year, I'll be pretty happy.
I'm going to throw out too, almost all of like the hobby company Black Friday sales I saw were just deals on shipping.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I noticed that.
Spend X amount of money, you get free shipping. And I'm like, all right, well, that's not really a Black Friday sale.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody needs to get introduced to it. And, then we have that awkward situation now with Vallejo workers on strike. And I don't even understand all of what's going on with that. But
yeah, that would be an interesting conversation because I haven't looked into that much either.
Yeah, I need to definitely check it out. And we do have one listener that isn't us. So, hello, listener who isn't, because I would assume
that Sean has been on. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Busts are fun. So yeah, I think all of us agree on that one. We may even be talking about miniature busts, but busts are definitely fun.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I haven't done it. I have attempted it a lot, but I've only successfully completed one, and we'll use success in air quotes, because you
Yeah.
know what the back of the sweatshirt says.
I mean, you know, I gave it a go last year, my second ever attempt at a bust, and did not do as well as I'd hoped. So I feel you, Mike. We'll get there eventually, I'm sure.
It's fun though. I mean, it is fun. It's different. It's nice to not have to put on any form of visual assistance with them, and just kind of, I would like one of my. We'll get into that in the hobby progress thing. It's the same. A lot of busts online have the same problem as regular miniatures too, which is weird to me. But anyways, we'll talk about that a little bit more. But yeah, I was really disappointed by the Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales. There were a couple of companies that one of which I won't mention. They had a good deal, but I don't buy from them. And everybody knows who they are. Mix yellow and blue things together,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
and
can
cover
stuff it in.
a planet in them. Yeah, no,
Yeah, cover a planet in them. Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I was low key excited for Monument Hobbies Black Friday deals. I may have bought something there. But when you're like we have the good fortune of going to at least some of the shows that they attend every year, so
Mhm.
free shipping is not quite as exciting if we can just wait and pick it up at a show in any case, and get to see things.
I'll throw this to you too, though. I put an order together for Monument, and I originally was going to buy and have it shipped to me one of the new rattle cans of the primer. Because with the commissions and stuff, it's just so much easier to rattle can off. And I feel like that stuff sticks better to metal than airbrush primer. To me, airbrush primer, I haven't tried the Tamiya or anything along those lines that the
Yeah,
lacquer ones, but any polyurethane primer rubs off in my hands.
yeah. No, I mean that's
If I'm
true.
wearing,
It's
yeah,
Because you have sweaty hands.
yeah, it doesn't have the same solvent that Rattlecan primers will have, which provides a better adhesion and really like binds to the surface of the model much better. So that's
right, it
always
kind
going to
of
be the
bites
case.
into like
Yeah,
plastic in the middle.
yeah,
But yeah, so I had a few paints that I needed to replace because of some painting class incidents, with people unable to figure out how to open them. Um, and then I threw a can primer in it, and the shipping was more than the can of primer was. I took the can of primer and the shipping out, and it went down it was two paints that I bought. So I was like, that's an absurd amount of money for shipping. So
You could
I
have
don't
just
know.
got those paints from your local store.
Well, I don't have a local store. I have to drive to you
My
45
local
minutes,
store. You can come to my
45
local
minutes
store.
to 2 hours,
I mean,
depending on what time of day it is.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I mean,
it is ridiculous, and it is pretty miserable that like shipping of rattle cans is so expensive. But the ultimate binding factor there is you can't airmail them, right? And the US is big enough that shipping domestically still is done largely by air, and you can't send rattle cans that way, so you're stuck with ground shipping.
Yep.
So I get it.
Right.
It sucks, but I get it.
Yep. So I'll get a can this weekend when I'm down there, Dan. Um, I should have got one 2 weeks ago, but it is what it is.
I was the same way. I should have stocked up on a couple things, but that's all right.
Yep. Neither
I
here
got
nor
time.
there. So do we want to get into a little bit of hobby progress stuff? Deb, do you want to go first this time, or Dan, do you want to go first?
I can go first.
I'm just gonna talk. So you
Um,
guys can go do your thing,
Let me see
and
if
then
I
I'll
can make
talk
this
about what
work.
I'm doing.
Let's
Because
see.
of course I don't have any pictures.
Um, oh, this
You're
is
still spinning over here.
yeah. All right, so I'm gonna do this so that unfortunately Mike and Dan won't be able to see this unless they're watching the YouTube stream. So sorry
I
about that,
am.
but it is the only way to make this work. So I'm just gonna try and get a little bit of focus here. So this is the guy that I was talking about a little earlier that I've been working on. This has kind of just been my like evening hobby project thing. I've been having a lot of fun with him, really trying to push my glazing. This is one of the characters from Relic Blade, and yeah, it's really good. A lot of fun. Pretty close to the end, I realized I need to knock back some of those shadows, especially on the hat where it's kind of gotten a little out of control. But other than that,
Hey, we're up to 4 watches.
pretty much ready to call it. Oh no, I never actually transitioned over.
Never, sorry.
Yeah, it was pretty
Sad times.
All
All right. But this is the guy, and yeah, had a lot of fun with him. That's the Arabic script that I was referencing earlier. This is right. Just wanted to do a little bit of something on that shield. As always, whenever I freehand a shield, it is always the shield. The face of the shield is always facing the back of the model every single time I choose to freehand on a shield. Those of you that have seen my Sigmarine model will have seen that as well, where I did in Astra freehanded onto the shield.
This is really good, Dad.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate that. I've actually been having not an unpleasant time with him. It's been pretty enjoyable.
You working any green into the shadows of the red there?
I think I mostly worked purple in rather than green. It has gone a little strong. Also, there's a couple of the paints that I used I did not expect to be glossy and were a little glossy, and I need to fix that.
Yeah, I found that out with Monument's Crimson paint, how really mega glossy that paint is. I was like, whoa! And I even went and put it on the shaker thing, whatever.
Oh yeah, the mixer. Yeah.
And for a minute, it was super shiny. I was like, yeah, I don't like that. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's all good. This is the Slayer squid from Relic Blade that I have been doing on my Monday night live stream. This is about 6 hours of work at this point because I've only been doing it on the live stream. So we've got skin with a little bit of mottling effect. The prismatic blades, which are kind of, I'm super happy with how they came out. Big shout out to Louise Sugden, Rogue Hobbies, for that tutorial, because I don't think I could have been able to wrap my head around it. It's not the kind of thing you get a lot of reference photos for. But super happy with how he came out, including that slightly duller blade hidden behind the back. So
Hey, the gold bands look really good.
Thank you. Yeah. I've been playing around with a little more NMM as well. Again, kind of a very similar technique to the shield, but a little bit more cartoony for the squid. So I think next Monday I'll be finishing him off, doing the armor and the base, and it'll be done. 8 hours for a figure like that, I think is pretty reasonable. And then this one, it's a bit of a surprise for Mike, but this is a figure that he printed and sent to me as a bit of a surprise, and I've started actually assembling. It is very reminiscent of a couple of figures that I have. I had picked up, and I wanted to have something a little bit more manageable to practice with, so I got this up, got it based up. I'm going to try my hand at resin effects, so she's actually going to be sitting on a riverbank with water flowing past. There's a few other pieces as well which I've not attached yet, so I'm not going to risk moving around, but some other bits and pieces.
It's about 9 whatchamacallits, 9 mushrooms.
Yes, and the little fox on her leg as well, which is what all of these little unfilled holes are for.
So what did you need? What did you break on her? Because
I
it
didn't.
looks good. I mean, I printed the whole thing again, and so I was going to send it to you again.
So I actually didn't break her at all. What I broke was one of the legs on the fox.
You have a new fox that'll be coming.
And you can see that shine there. That's from the super glue that I used to fix it. I think I actually managed a pretty healthy fix there. I don't think it will show once the varnish is on. Or the primer is on, rather. And then the harder thing for me to fix is one or two of the mushrooms, the caps separated from the stems. So that, and I actually think I may have even gone ahead and just straight up lost the stems for those. So that's going to be harder to fix. But I'm looking forward to working on this. I'm hoping to maybe get it done and entered into Kubler Brush Awards. We'll see. That's a lot of work, and it's coming up pretty rapidly. And at this point, I'm not sure I've got the willpower to push myself through all of that. So,
my goal with sending it to you was to give you something that was just totally different from what you've painted in the past. A little bit larger scale, nothing. I don't know. I guess more and more I'm becoming attracted to less war-like type models, and combat type models. It's not a conscious thing, but it's just what I'm picking out. But no, I'm glad that you like that model for sure.
It's beautiful. It's very much in the style of the larger scale figures I tend to get. Little Witch and Tea Party being the two that I really want to work on someday when I feel like I'm a better artist. And this, I think, is a good warm-up for that. So, yeah, well, we'll see how that goes. I've managed to kill that camera, so that's fun. Just turn that off. Probably overheated. Cannot hear you, Mike. I don't know if Dan can.
Well, I'm not
Mike
talking.
is just zoning out.
Oh, okay, cool.
I was just looking at the screen.
Oh, we just went blank.
Yeah, I fixed that already.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that until now.
I'm framing with me frozen with my hands up like this.
Do I need to go to the please stand by screen whilst Mike gets this out of his system?
I'm in like slow motion. It's weird. Like my hands are like going like this.
That's how you paint.
Maybe I shouldn't get stoned right before I get on live. We got 5 watchers now. Hello, people watching the show.
Hello, people.
Yeah,
We've got Sneaky Pete has appeared.
Yeah.
Sneaky Pete! I see Pete. I found him.
You know, I did not know Vallejo and AK do Railcam primers, Pete. That's news to me. So if they're good, maybe I'll check them out. I'm not sure I have a reliable stock.
I have 2 AK ones and they suck.
Oh, really? You're gonna have to take this outside with Pete because Pete says otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll say this: the AK ones I have, they're supposed to be competitors to the Mr. Hobby ones, like the Mr. Primer or Surfacer ones. They're not even close competition, right? Like they're supposed to be gap filling and stuff like that. They coat fine, you can paint on them fine, but oftentimes you get kind of those little ruts in metal models, and the AK primers are cheaper than getting like Mr. Hobby spray primers, but the Mr. Hobby spray primers for metal miniatures is the chef kiss. But and use what you love, you know what I mean? I mean, probably people like I haven't actually broken out my airbrush in months. And even the work in progress bus that I'm working on is brush primed. I just slapped. I was like, I didn't want to go downstairs and turn on the compressor and let it, By the time I was done priming the model, by the time I would have been ready to prime the model airbrushing. Just to piss you and Dan Osborne off.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it does hurt my soul a little bit to hear you say that, but I mean, you do.
And guess what? I didn't have to do. I didn't have to clean my airbrush afterwards.
Oh no! Such a hardship. The whole cleaning.
It is. It sucks. I hate cleaning airbrushes. I hate it. And I'm sorry for people who are wearing my hat. I am freezing.
When you come
It's
out here,
25.
man, I am subjecting you to like 2 full day airbrushing sessions where you're going to have to just clean between colors endlessly for 2 days. Maybe I won't even let you paint. Maybe I'll just paint and just keep handing you the airbrush to clean out for me.
That's what I'm talking about.
That sounds like hell. I'm just gonna throw that out.
You know what?
Sounds like hell.
It's harsh, but it does work, right? Like once you've just sat for a full day of airbrushing, and you're constantly changing colors and cleaning it out and getting clogs and fixing them and going through it. By the end of 2 days, you will never feel like cracking out the airbrush is a hassle again because it just becomes second nature. You don't even think about it. And if you're feeling really lazy and you don't bother cleaning it out, you just drop those parts in isopropyl alcohol for 20 minutes and clean them the next time around, and you're good. It is hilarious watching Mike in slow motion like he is stoned off his face. It's great. I don't know what's causing it, but it is hilarious.
No, I mean, all my signal stuff looks really good. I mean, am I speaking in slow motion or?
Sound is fine. It's a little, it clips out here and there, but it's fine otherwise. I was going to blame it on my internet connection because it's usually my internet connection, to be fair, but
No, it's actually Mike.
it's Mike. Yeah. Yep.
It is Mike. He's talking slow. He's moving slow. It's Friday morning, Mike. Come on, we're still waiting for you.
I'm mentally slow as well, so that it all comes together. It all makes sense now.
All right, but
Dan.
Yeah, Dan, I want to hear this. Hobby away, Dan. Tell us all about it.
So I think this is pretty interesting because maybe this is going to be our New Year's stuff because we are in December. So Mike is talking about how he is moving away from real figures to bust, which is more of a display, I guess, craft than wargaming. And I forgot what Dev was talking about, but he was changing into something, and geez, now I feel like an ass because I had it in my mind there a second ago.
I'm doing all the porn, the relic blade porn. Yeah,
relic blade porn. Okay. No, there was something that you said that you're finding yourself enjoying a lot more.
Glazing.
Painting.
Yeah, just working on glazes.
So I like to paint shiny robots, and of course I'm we'll talk about that in a second because this other one is more fun. So now I got Mike's brain thing going on right now. It's going too slow. So I like to paint things very crisp and very new. I don't like doing field damage. I don't like doing mud or anything like that. That's just the way that I've always painted. More of a technical side, but not very technical because I suck at painting. But there's this little game that's coming out that everybody seems to be talking about that hooked me pretty freaking hard, and I'm looking forward to buying all the STLs.
It's clickbait time, people. We can't get through a clickbait episode without talk of Trench Crusade.
Yeah, that's right. So my other purchase was to back to Kickstarter. So after I said I was never going to do another Kickstarter, I just love everything about this stupid freaking game. So I'm really looking forward to finding some people that can play it, that want to play it, and I just love the whole idea of it. Except having to move away from being crisp lines, perfect shades, colors, highlights, blends, and go for the grimdark because I hate painting grimdark, but I'm willing to give it a try.
Welcome to Blanchitsu, my friend. Welcome to Blanchitsu. Yep. I think it's going to be a good experience for you, man. We'll get you working on a Zorn palette.
Yep, I got all that. I'm ready to go. I just got to get through that mental block, and I think this will be something good for me on the hobby side. We'll see how frustrated I get with it after a while. but I think it's a little bit more free verse and opposite of what I try to do. And I think it, maybe to help me grow a little bit, maybe just enough to push me over that line that I'm not worried about making everything textbook right. So I am looking forward to finding some folks. I think there are a couple people in our area that might be playing it. Probably every area is going to have people that are going to dabble in it. So I look forward to running into those folks. And once they start playing that, then we will grab them by the nuts and make them play BattleTech.
I'm not sure I see necessarily the overlap there, man. But you do your best.
It's gonna be. I don't think it does either. I see a I guess another migration from 40K into this. I think people want to at least dabble in it and see what it's like. The aesthetic is definitely there. The writers, I mean, it's just like 40K Junior. It's like all the same freaking people.
Oh yeah, it's. I mean, Tumas Pirian is, the creator of Mordheim, right? So it is. I'm pretty excited that they've had so much success. I'll be honest, the visual style and the setting really do not appeal to me particularly. It's a little bit too Kingdom Death for my taste, but I am stoked to see them succeed and to see this take off.
I do, and I know Uncle Adam did a little episode on it too. So I want to watch that because I hadn't looked at it. I just wanted to go into this just with my own mind. So now I need to start watching the videos on playing the game, a little bit more understanding the rules. I do like
all printable files.
So
pretty much all of them are.
Yeah,
you can buy them hard, but you buy the STLs and are like half the price.
Yeah,
so
the original intention was for it to be all STLs, and then during the process of the Kickstarter, everybody said, "So you're gonna actually make models, print or cast up the models for this?" And so they did eventually add that offering, but it was STL files with the option of hard rules and stuff like that. But all of the rules are available online for free if you don't feel like buying them. And frankly, if you really want, you can use other models, right? And unless they start up organized play, but
it is absolutely amazing the number of STL and sculptors out there that are making stuff for it, because it's kind of easy. I mean, it's got a very specific aesthetic, and it just fits really well into those private sculptors and it's going to be fun. And I've seen so many really great sculpts out there, and that's one of the good things about it too, is really to get people on board is, hey, use whatever you want to, and there's a lot of people that are creating their own stuff and doing their own mods and customs. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be such a wide breadth of different types of armies and what they all look like and everything. So I'm really hoping that it does take off also. I think it'd be a neat, fresh, I guess, movement for a little bit.
Honestly, I think it's going to be hard for it not to succeed at this point, given just the sheer amount of uptake, unless the game is unbelievably bad, which I think is unlikely. I think it's going to be a huge success.
Is it still going on?
Yeah, it is. Yes.
The Kickstarter is complete, but the backer kit, I believe, is still open.
It's still open for late pledges, which is, I think, pretty much the same cost.
Yeah.
You can find it on Kickstarter, or you just go to Trench Crusade tabletop backer kit thing. So I'm going with the new.
Are they having another one in January?
I think it's for maybe different. I don't know. Oh, those are for the expansions, I think.
Okay, because that one's coming soon. And have there been two now for this Trench Crusade?
I believe there may have been a kind of short-lived early Kickstarter that was just the bare bones rules or something, and then they kind of rebooted it as a bigger thing, and that's really what caught the zeitgeist.
Yeah, there's a lot of A lot of lore starting to be developed for it. And it's kind of neat.
Oh yeah, there was one 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got new Antioch and I got the Mercenaries because those are just really cool freaking figures. I just love those things. The Mercenaries.
Well, the new Antioch looks like Maschenkrieger.
Maschinenkrieger.
Whatever. You knew what I was saying.
MAK, my friend, MAK.
But if you look, you can see all the different. You can see where they all come from.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
They have a very interesting.
Sneaky Pete is saying that you should be painting your Trench Crusade crispy clean and just let it shine on its own. I think pristine whites with like some very fine black edging and you'll be golden, my friend.
No, I think I want to try something different. But thanks for the advice. I might give it a try for a couple of them. Or as I'm doing really sloppy painting, all of a sudden I just like go into old habits, and the next thing you know, I'm doing like nice blends, and or I just spray paint it all black and shade it with black, and then that'd be my guys.
I think you've done that.
You might want to highlight that with black too.
So that's my big kick. I'm next week after I set up my new computer, I will start jumping into that really hardcore. Hopefully I can find some folks around that to at least give it a try. Try to paint some things up, and when I finish that and I have a couple days off, I will be getting things ready for the next BattleTech rounds. Yeah. So I'm thinking about going to Detroit for a tournament. I haven't confirmed that yet, but that's going to be in May. It depends on what kind of conflicts I have. We have Adepticon in March. That should be fairly interesting, but I don't know if I'm going to play anything. I just don't know what I'm going to do yet there. But I'm trying to knock out some of my 500 freaking BattleTech mechs that I need to try to paint. So I've been practicing a lot of orange lately, and I'm starting to dislike orange at this point because I have like 50 different shades of orange. That'd be my new book. Yeah, it's a great book, man.
It's 50 Shades of Grey, but in prison.
Yeah.
Oh, orange is the new gray.
It's an adventure. It's adventure in love. So, yeah, I'm trying to get that perfect orange down for my my forces, and then I think I'm just going to stick with that. But I plan on doing a lot of airbrushing instead of doing my hand painting because I'm just getting tired of that. I just can't get it down right. So mechs is much easier if I just
use your brush. No airbrushing allowed.
Wrong.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with the airbrush on this one. But if it wasn't, 50-mile-an-hour winds and freaking 30 freaking degrees outside, I probably would do a little bit more. But I can't even stand being outside in my garage.
Yeah, you're having a heat wave there. It's 25 out where I am.
Is
Sucks.
it?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is right now. It don't matter what it is outside. It's still cold as shit.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's like temperature cold. It just feels cold. And the wind is biting. I just don't like this part of winter.
It dropped below 60 in my house today. I had to turn the heating on.
Jeez. I wore a coat and a hat. Well, Mike's wearing his hat right now.
In the house.
Yeah.
I need new windows in my house. That's part
I would
of the
show you
problem.
my hat. Oh, but my hat. Oh, see, my hat doesn't show up either.
Well, if you put it on your head, it would.
I will. Whoop. I'm going to disappear.
Stealth mode engaged. Yeah, Sean, I actually would love to try Turnip 28 at some point. I've seen so much about it, and I would actually really like to try it out at some point. It interests me a lot more than Trench Crusade, in all honesty. But I also, I have a kind of a soft spot for that, like the Napoleonic aesthetic, and then just twisting that a little bit sounds kind of fun. So,
So
if you're into Napoleonics, man, maybe I'll bring that game to you. I have when I was blessed enough to win Best Wargaming Miniature at our show, and I don't remember what the name is, but it's by Warlord. The prize was this massive, it's a 15 millimeter starter set.
Yeah, the Waterloo one, right?
Yes.
Is it black powder? It's not black powder, is it?
Yes, it is black powder.
It's black powder, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I have the French starter set.
Nice.
It's got over 1,000 miniatures in it that will never get a drop of paint or go anywhere except to a swap meet to sell. I love the gift. Thank you to the Wargamers Consortium up here for giving the price support for that. It's just not. If I was at the show when the award, I had to leave because I was still recovering from COVID. I was kind of wiped out. But I would have found somebody that would have found a better home for that while I was there, just because it's not my cup of tea. But, Dan, do you have anything else of hobby wise that's going on, or are you good?
That's a year's worth right there.
Nice. So I will just do mine. I've worked on a couple of things. Have a Death Company Marine that I'm just messing around with, having fun with, and then I have this guy. Where is my PowerPoint? There it is. And so I have this guy that I am showing.
Oh, my bad. 1 second. Da-da-da-da, you're on screen, my friend.
How's that?
Yeah.
Can you guys see
Come
it?
on, Mike.
Yeah.
You gotta
present mode would be nice, but you know.
I am in present mode.
You really are, you're not
Mike,
sharing.
you can't even get it on.
Mode.
You can't even get it on the page.
Oh, jeez, what the hell?
And people say we're a bunch of rank amateurs. I don't know. I don't see it myself.
I don't know either. Here, I'm gonna stop streaming. Then I'm gonna stare, and I'm just gonna share my entire screen.
Yes, that will work.
Share. Because sharing is caring. And here we go.
No.
How's that?
Oh, yeah. It's the... Oh, there we go. Yeah, look at you. Sharing the whole screen.
Oh, wow, Mike.
I'm having a lot of fun. This is that Count Victor Richter von Schluchenhauer vampire guy. Plus my trash can, apparently. Front and back. It is fun to paint. The face is coming out really nicely. I'm using colors that I've never used in a face before. I have yet to use a flesh tone at all. It's all purples and deck tan and stuff like that. So I wanted to go for really old. You can't really see it on the screen, but I've done a lot of... I did some flicking of red, green, and brown paints on him to get like when people how they make stars and stuff. I really wanted the skin to be old, and so I've kind of done that to give and painting and glazing over it to blend it to give it kind of old people spots. The hair is coming out really nicely, which is what my main focus is right now, because for me to finish a face, I have to frame it with the hair. And so once I finish the hair, I'll go back to finishing up the face. I want to add more colors to the under the cheeks and such. I want to add some crimsons, and you can't really see it in this picture, but in the under his eyes is kind of a bluish, greenish mix of colors, and it's kind of. I looked at a lot of pictures of the baggy eyes, and so I kind of. I don't want to say wet blend because I didn't do any swishing the brush back and forth, but I kind of took wet paint and just kept painting on top of wet paint, if that makes sense. And wherever it blended, and because it looks a lot more natural, more natural bags under the eyes and stuff like that.
Did you?
My big gripe. Go ahead.
Did you find yourself introducing textures that you weren't really wanting onto the surface of the model doing that? Because that's always my hesitation with doing that kind of blending is if you're not fast enough, you've got bits that are drying and you're moving them and then you start getting, kind of layer lines. And
You know, with other paints, yes, but this is a deck tan is the only model paint that I've used on it, on the face right now. Everything else has been the liquid gouache from Liquitex,
okay.
and so they're open a little bit longer. So they don't dry quite as quick. Yes, I have gotten texture, but I'm happy with it.
Okay. Yeah.
I like the texture of it. And I feel like because of the old skin, the better, the more texture like that, the better. It's not going to be smooth because he's, I mean, I would imagine, given the lines and wrinkles on this face, he's a few centuries old. Um, you know, uh, but it is what it is. I'm digging the vibe of the academic bust feel, where it's just really a few. There aren't too many elements because I think that stops me from painting a lot of busts and stuff. But you could also see, like, if you look at the back, I've started marking in the black. I haven't really done a ton with it yet. I've just kind of started marking that in. I did find. Um, Something I really like doing now. So the main paint for black that I use is golden so flat black.
Mm-hmm.
It's consistent, gives a beautiful finish and all, but I struggle because of how matte it is. The black paint looks like gray to me because of the way the light reflects off of matte paint. And in order to combat that and get the smoother finish, what I've started doing is thinning my black paint with black ink instead of water.
Yep.
And so it takes that sheen, a little bit of that satiny sheen, um, and I don't know, it's still very matte, but it's not like gray. You know what I don't know how to explain it. And so what I've also started doing instead of black ink too with this guy, that is what I discovered for the Death Company Marine. So for him, in order to do kind of a cold black, I did a 50-50 mix of the So Flat black with Payne's gray ink. And so it's now like it's a cold, instead of having just a neutral black, it's a colder black to kind of contrast all the warm elements that are around it, like uh, the the gold and the reds and the although it is undead, I'm still going to add some warmer colors to the skin tone as I go along. But it's been a lot of fun. I am definitely enjoying kind of this new facet of the hobby for me. The one thing that pisses me off though is that um, I don't know what to do with the parts that are like, for example, I don't know if I can get this in here with a good lighter and all, but like the back sides of the gems. What the hell do you do with that stuff? Do you just paint it black and hope nobody sees it?
Eric said you're not supposed to paint that. You're not going to see it, so don't paint it.
Okay, all right.
You're only photographing
Yeah.
this from one angle, man.
What?
You're only photographing it from one angle.
Fair point. Fair point. But so it's fun. Actually, something that I used to dread painting was hair. But I'm gonna throw out major props to Vince Venturella. His hobby cheating video on painting blonde hair. Like he's done a few. The most recent one he did really explains. You could take everything that he says, just swap out the colors. It really explains how to paint, where lights go on the hair, how to paint it, and it's a step-by-step thing. So I got to give Vince some props on that. That was a very educational thing. And I don't have pictures of the Death Company guy because I'm painting him in sub-assemblies, and so it's kind of hard to take a pic. It doesn't make sense when it's like that. But basically, I just wanted to paint a Death Company guy and go a different, like, the one aesthetic of Death Company that I hate on the models that are made for Death Company is that the X's are supposed to be painted on, but they're sculpted on the shoulder pads and such. And I don't like that. I wanted kind of the bare stuff, and I want to make it look like it's painted on, right? Like, what would Eddie Izzard say? They make it slapdash a little bit, you know? So, but that's kind of, that's where I am. I haven't done a ton of painting. I've done a lot of prepping of models and such. But also, you know what we didn't say is Happy Thanksgiving, you know, I hope everybody had a Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it for me. That's it for me as far as what I've done. And I've done some of the commission stuff. I don't know if I count that as painting, because at this point, it's a slog. It's just a slog to get through it. I don't know how people do it for a living. I wouldn't survive.
You know, it would be a lot quicker if you used an airbrush. I mean, I'm just saying.
Not for this, because I've got not for this commission. This commission, where he wants it, is somewhat historically accurate. That, you know, you have 20 sailors on a ship, and not a damn one is wearing a uniform.
Yeah, but
in the 1800s.
How long?
And then pirates.
How long were you painting that boat, buddy? How long were you painting that boat? Because that boat is one afternoon with an airbrush.
The boat probably took me about 15 hours. And the reason why is because the airbrush can't do the details on it.
You can if you use what's that stuff called? Contrast paints. Just airbrush it on.
The contrast paints don't behave the same way through an airbrush that they do through a brush.
Well, you airbrush it, and then you go in with black, and you just mark all those little lines. It's all good to go.
Just slap chop it, mate. Slap chop it.
Mike slap chopping a boat.
Yeah, I don't even know how I would have accomplished that.
With a very large
I would have had to use like elephant makeup brushes, you know, then like almost like I would have to get a broom or something like that to dry brush with.
Sounds like we're having.
Okay, now I want to dry brushing with a broom. I can't lie. I'm now thinking about what it would be like to dry brush with a broom.
You know, I do have some secret weapon terrain boards. I could straight up try that.
That would be awesome. I'd love to see what the result is. You don't have to go with the double-handed broom. You can go with like one of the little dustpan broom.
Dustpan broom, yeah.
See how that's done.
All right.
A little starts that way, but yeah. I mean, we're at almost an hour now. I don't know if we have time to get into that topic. Boy, we run our mouths, don't we?
We should just pass that topic and do it another day, and we can just keep on just chatting for a couple minutes.
That sounds great. I've already forgotten what the topic was meant to be, so...
Okay, so the side note here is for everybody to know and be excited and scream and shout, because tomorrow, check your podcast feeds for listening to Paint Dry, and if you stop subscribing because we took some time off, get back on that thing. Devin and my interview with Chris Chung will be out tomorrow.
Dang, you turned that around fast, mate.
Yep. I have somebody helping me with the live stream stuff right now, and so all of that is going to come out all at one time. And so I did find somebody to help me with the leveling and stuff along those lines, and so that was pretty exciting, and they did it for free, so that's even better.
Nice.
I was saying,
yeah, they said it wasn't that, it's a skill thing, and so in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to go over, buy them dinner, and they're going to show me what they did. And so that worked. I'm like, hey, I'll buy you a couple of dinners for doing all that. You know what I mean?
Oh man, if it was just that easy to be that good of a painter, just buy someone dinner and they just tell me what to do, and then I can be like, yeah, I'm a great painter.
There you go. That would be nice. Hey, Steven Garcia is relatively close to you too, so you take him out to dinner. And he's a military guy too, so there you go. You got a connection.
Well, he's in a wrong service, so.
Oh, Way to win friends there, Dan. Way to win friends.
Yeah, I got to tell you, if you've ever seen Steven's feeds besides the painting stuff, yeah, I ain't messing with that dude. That dude would break my neck with his pinky, and he's. Let's just say I'm at least 6 inches taller than he is, and at least 100+ pounds. I probably have 100 pounds on him, and he would destroy me without breaking a sweat. The dude does the handstand push-ups for shits and giggles, you know. And he's probably trained very, very well with weapons. So I don't mess with people like that. I just say yes, sir. I know my lane. So yeah, again, tomorrow, interview with Chris Chung. We get into stuff about his painting, and it's going to piss you off a little bit that he only started in COVID and he is so goddamn good so fast. He also works for Broco's Vault. He's going to also talk to us. He talks to us about his experience at his first Mont Sansovino. So, and if you're listening to this, Dave Bourbon Brush, major shout out to Dave for winning Best in Standard at Mont Sansovino, as well as Dave Phillips, who sculpted the model that the Team Dave won Best in Standard. That's pretty freaking awesome. And I get the one claim to fame that I taught the first class that Dave Bourbon Brush ever took. At the
was that a kill team?
That was his first class ever.
Shit. That was pre-COVID, right?
It was all me. Yep, it was pre-COVID.
That's pretty cool. No, it's neat to see him growing over the last couple of years. It's
freaking amazing, dude. What a fabulous! And he won a medal. He won a silver, I think, for his soldier bust.
Yeah, I know. He won it at Nova. He won Best Historical at Nova with that bust also.
Yep, I think he got a gold medal for that bust too, didn't he? Like Golden Masters.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Pretty amazing stuff. It's amazing to see how many people that we come across that are just becoming such better, braver, happier painters. And of course, we take full credit.
Yes,
because we suck really hard at painting, so people can paint really, really well.
Well, I do believe you suck harder than I do.
That's not what she said, but any parting thoughts, gentlemen, before we go? Sean, are you still hanging on?
I think we still have.
We may not have a stream, but I think we still have some people trying to watch it. So.
No, we're streaming.
Okay. All right.
We're streaming, man.
I'm getting errors all over the place on my end, so we'll see.
I guess you
might want to get that looked at.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is.
I might have a spare computer for you.
I just need a better internet connection, and there's no real options there. So that's why I think we should at some point switch to Dan running it.
We can. Let's see. What's next week? Next week is a Thursday. Oh, yeah. I don't have anything Thursday. So I guess we're doing next week and the following week?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Honestly, we could probably do the day after Christmas.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Out. No, I'm out of town.
All right. Well, you and me.
People are busy playing with their new paintbrushes and new figures and stuff and messing up printers they don't know how to put together yet.
Oh, that was one thing. The one hobby thing that I was sorely tempted to get this Black Friday, and I just resisted in the end. A bamboo A1 printer.
I just find they're just so freaking expensive.
It was down to $200, $300, $300 from.
Yeah, but it's like the basic model, and it's tiny. But if you're just doing like bust and like
print bed
figures.
No, not the A1 Mini, the regular A1.
Oh, that's right.
The print bed is the same. It's a slightly lower print quality, and it's slightly slower. But neither of those things bothered me. And when you're paying $300 for a filament printer,
and that's where it was kind of tempted. I mean, you can get the previous generation, which is probably no more than 6 months old, for $150. I mean, I was really tempted, but I was like, I know there's so much more. It's like baking when you see these beautiful things that they make at restaurants, or they show you the pictures for the influencers and stuff, all these great layouts and everything of food. It takes a lot to make it work like that. And even Mike, with his resin, he had a lot of work he had to do to make sure that it was dialed in correctly. And his prints are absolutely gorgeous. I'm not going to give him credit for it, but he did work on it really hard to make those prints come out good.
Nope. And, Crazy Mad Science is, I got to give her props. She's the one who helped dial me in. She gets all the credit.
Yeah, but they are beautiful beautiful prints, for sure.
And that's what it takes. You have to spend the time. You can't just, I guess you can just plug it in and it will work, but things are so much better if you're able to get them dialed in. And I just was not ready to go through all that again because I did it with resin. It was no fun, and just getting okay prints. I did it with the my filament printer until that thing melted. To realize that's a common problem with filament printers is the clogged whatchamacallits,
nozzles.
And it just it fucks them all up. And I'm seeing a lot of those lately too. So
you couldn't just replace that? You couldn't replace the filament nozzle?
You can, yeah. Nozzles are replaceable.
No, the nozzles are, but the whole heating element and everything, it like fused. So when it sticks there,
oh damn!
And I've seen like a lot of people have been like, they got within the last couple of months. There seems to be just like this quality control thing where different manufacturers are still having the same problem, and there's like it's like, yep, if I wasn't at home when this stuff was printing, I would have lost my house, shit like that. And if it's like one random thing, but I ran into it, I've seen an awful lot of it online now, and I'm like, I think I need to, there's a lot more fine tuning I need to do on my next printer to make sure that it's running before I start trying to print again. I'm not trying to persuade people not to get printers. They're fun, and boy, you can do some great stuff with them. I just don't have the time to spend on that.
I'm only really interested in getting a printer if it is going to be plug and play. I'm not looking for a hobby. I'm looking for a way of getting terrain printed or bigger pieces printed or whatever. Yeah.
And I think some of the other a lot of the not most recent ones are probably worth to give that a try. But just understanding like what are some of the faults of these printers and what kind of problems you can have.
Yeah.
And filament, which I didn't think had any problems, they don't have nearly as many as a resin can. Geez, it doesn't take much at all to fuck up a resin printer.
It's so funny because it used to be the exact opposite. Early, like I remember when resin printers first hit the streets, and it was like you could just plug and play, and you would get a resin print most of the time. But filament printers back then were so sensitive to atmospheric conditions, and there were so many moving parts, and back then they were still largely the ones that you had to kind of build yourself and often print parts of the frame to be able to use the printer.
That's right. Yeah. That's why I didn't get into it. And then I just I was like, well, I might as well do a resin. But now I see it was like, oh, like there's so many cool things you can do with a filament that I'm like, that's what I want to go. And I think it would have been better for me to start that way and then end with a resin printer. I can still get mine to work. I don't have the time to like fiddle with it the way I want to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll get back into it at some point. Maybe when I need to print out some more of those Trench Crusade figures.
Hey, Dev.
Yes, boss.
You've got that slate blue resin in front of you, right? The girl.
Yeah.
That's the medium slate. So like with gray resins and darker resins, I have a hard time seeing them. How do you feel the blue color for visibility for you? Good? Or none of that matters to you, or
it doesn't matter hugely to me. It is good, and that is helpful for the initial cleaning, right? Getting rid of burrs and nubbins and stuff. But I'm going to be spraying the whole thing black, right? So it's only
no. And it's for me. I did it because it's more of for the cleaning process. For me, it's easier to see instead of painting it and going, God damn it, there's a divot. you know, like from the removal and stuff and
Yeah.
such. But I don't get many of those anymore with that with Dan's killer tip of the chisel blade on the X-Acto knife.
That's a good shout. Yeah, that's a good shout.
But major props to you, Dan, my friend, because that works really well.
What did I do?
You told me about using the flat chisel blade to take off.
Yeah.
Supports.
Cool. I'm glad that works. Yeah.
It works incredibly well.
Cool.
So with that being said, you know, I hope everybody has a great weekend and they take some time to be thankful for their journey to become better, braver, happier painters, because it is a joy and it's the way it always should be. If it's a chore, maybe you take a break or do something else, but regain the joy, regain the love, and become a better, braver, happier painter.
And join me in broom brushing your way to being a better, braver, happier painter.
And join Dev on Mondays. At what time?
I stream from 4 till 6 Pacific, which is 7 till 9 Eastern. Monday nights on Twitch, Raggedy Pants.
Perfect.
Is Dan going to say the words?
I did, but you guys talked over me.
Oh, awesome. Perfect. Bye, everybody.